Sunday, 24th of January 2021. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys, wherever you are. Piotr here, this is Liteforex YouTube channel. We are going to, as each and every week, we are going to prepare ourselves or try to prepare ourselves for another big trading week. It's gonna be also big because we are approaching end of the month, end of the January. This is the weekly chart of the euro dollar, and bulls were able, as you can see, to hold this week above the weekly open, and we've seen some rally. But based on this weekly chart, we've seen the retest just of the supply and a little bit of upper shadow. Now, where is the supply based on this weekly chart? Well, the rejection and the last rising candle we've seen 3 weeks ago. So that's the first supply, and well, we've seen the levels close to 21.85, 21.90. From the intraday perspective, we're working well lately. Anyway, if we are going to try to push higher, where might be the next supply? The next supply is around 23.10, and it's again related to what we've seen 3 weeks ago, and that could create some swing high, finishing the business. When it comes to what we've seen 2 weeks ago high and 3 weeks ago high, this might create some kind of the supply. So from the weekly chart, current levels around 21.85, 21.90, and then again around 23.10 as a supply. Now, again, in my opinion, still 120 and 1.1960. So the breakout candle here at the bottom, these upper shadows over these consolidations as a possible target, and taking into the consideration current pullback we've seen, it could be the case of equal move like 1-to-1. Let's have a look how high in that case can we go with, if that going to be the case, to reach 120, 119.60, right? So looks like there might be a little bit of the rally higher, and even from current level we might reach some close to 1960. Okay, that's the weekly chart of the euro dollar. Let's have a look what we have on a daily chart, and of course 1960.20, that's the demand. All right, let's switch lower, let's switch to daily chart, and there you go. We are currently, what we've seen on Thursday and Friday, it was nothing else, just the retest of the supply, all right, and the previous demand. So well, I'm not surprised that we've seen the sellers around the current level, also related to the daily chart. There is a little bit of the space in case we are talking about Friday high. We might eventually finishing the business here, and from that level, right, from that level it could be ideal 1-to-1 22.15. So we might see spike higher. Market may want to hit some stops based on the last week price action, moving higher towards 22.15, and then eventually go lower. Of course, what we've seen lately, especially from Monday till Wednesday, especially Wednesday, retest of this low. So from the lower time frame perspective, we have some kind of the demand around 20.80, 20.50. So this zone over here from the daily chart. But then, as I mentioned, 120 and 1960 this demand should produce some kind of the support when it comes to the buyers. So that's how I see the things related to the euro dollar. Let's have a look what we have on oil. And there you go, there is a little bit of the rejection. It's gonna be better visible from the weekly chart perspective. Rejection in that supply, all right? Two upper shadows. So last week, the previous week and the week ago. So that could produce retest of levels close to 45 based on what we've seen around 45 with these lower shadows, 45, 45, 50. And if we are going to get the close below, then this consolidation and midpoint of that consolidation somewhere around 40, 42, top of that midpoint 40 could be targeted, right? If we are going to break through that level, then the next possible supply is higher towards 57, 58 when it comes to the weekly chart of the oil. Let's go lower. Let's switch to the daily chart. Let's have a look what we have here. It's quite interesting because this supply is also visible on the daily chart. That's what we have currently here. In that case, of course, the psychological line 50 is gonna be the first line of the defense, all right? So if we are going to move lower and retest 50, that could be first line of the demand, okay? Then, and I'm talking about this upper shadow rejection, all right? And then we have 48 demand possible, all right, from the daily chart, and lower levels to come. If market is going to go higher even from here, right? So that's the consolidation. If we are going to double that consolidation, then we have levels close to 55 and 56, 50 to be targeted to the upside when it comes to the oil. A little bit of the consolidation for the last few days. Well, as of now, if we are going to retest midpoint of that consolidation, that's where I expect sellers at the very beginning of the week. And finally, gold. Still below 1950, 1950 and 2000. Looks like January of 2021 is going to be, looks different than what we've seen previously. We discussed that. Well, a little bit, looks like a little bit of the outside week. We made new low compared to the previous week. We made new high compared to the previous week. Now the question is about the continuation, because only move and close above previous week high gonna produce the real outside week, will confirm the outside week. Still think that at least retest of the previous lows here around 1775 could be in play. Let's have a look what we have on the gold from the daily chart perspective. There was the Wednesday attempt to go higher, Thursday consolidation, Friday another rejection. From the daily chart perspective, market is fighting between 1825 with this stop count we've seen on Tuesday, right, and to the upside levels close to 1910, 1920, 25. And for now, as long as we are within that consolidation, I'm going to look for fading the rally and looking for the lower levels over here, 1780, 1775. Alright guys, it was my pleasure to prepare this weekly preview for you. Be careful, don't be trapped. See you around, take care and goodbye.